Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Jack Hoth, The Legendary Journey, I should say. I'm doing the playtesting right now. As you can see, we're using RPG Maker MV for this version. You can do point and click and play. You can click on items to check them out. You can use it in combat. Or you can just use the typical arrow key ZX and shift for running combo from, that's a standby. So this is a joke that I thought I'd share with you on here. This is the fourth area of the game, the tower that you'll be going through to get to the main bad guy for Area 4. And this area has tons and tons of stuff in the environment to check out. This one has a huge amount of environmental things you can look at, interact with, and play with. So this is just some old bows and arrows on the wall, long rotted to trash, as it says. Each arrow has a note tied to it. It is written in the High language. The penguins are in the toilets. I hope you got a laugh out of that. I think it's hilarious. For some reason, it's just so bizarre and random, but it is actually based in reality. I read a story that back in the day, they would sometimes tie weird-ass notes to arrows to fuck with the enemies, to screw with them. So, you're gonna find quite a bit of that sort of stuff throughout the game, just weirdness, funny things. But the real reason I'm doing this video is I wanted to kind of show you the combat a little bit in this area. Overall, I think things are going to be a little bit easier for you when you get to this area. So far, I've been facing every single enemy to make sure everything's working, and so far, I think it might still be a little too difficult in some of the later areas, so I think I'm probably going to tweak the experience rates so that you level up just a tad faster. But, if you're playing it the way I am, then it'd probably end up being too easy. So that's one of the difficult things about making a game like this, is that you don't want to make it to where people have to face every single enemy. You know, there's like 27, 28 enemies in every single area. So you don't necessarily want to force people to fight every single enemy along the way. But at the same time, you don't want to make it to where people who do fight all the enemies get to a certain point and then they're just steamrolling everybody that comes after. So it's kind of hard to try and strike a balance, but that's just one of the challenges of making an RPG. So this enemy says, "Don't look so sour, I'm pleased to meet you. Why are you attacking us? Stupid ass sucker, such a bad motherfucker that he knows it." Or with an Uzi if you prefer. No chance. It's from a very briefly lived group, Grand Theft Audio. They had a couple of good songs. Stupid ass. Yeah, and Is This As Good As The Whole World Gets? Something like that. That's a pretty good song. So I was going to show you some of this area has unique enemies. I made them myself. There's quite a few different ones. This isn't the best one to show it off because he blends into the background. But they're weird, shifty, creepy-looking guys. So I can kind of show you some of Jack's abilities here. How not to be seen boosts your agility and evasion. You can see up here it tells you what it does. Hemorrhage is a swift strike with a good chance to cause bleeding wounds. Mighty Jack boosts agility and luck for 5 turns. 3-stab style is it attacks one enemy but hits them 3 times. Lucko to Fryish greatly boosts luck for 5 turns. Hashashin skills boosts evasion and counterattack. Lover's Favor is an artifact-based skill. You'll get to see more about that when you're playing the game, but it has a good chance to do a lot of status effects to enemies, state effects. So right now, we're just going to do Hemorrhage. Titties McBoobs can do magic and specials. This is partially because of her own skills, but also because of an artifact that she has. But let's just check out one of her specials here. Cutie Cake your dedicated healer and light-based attacker. Has a lot of different spells you can choose from. Skill charge boosts your skill regeneration rate. You have some different healing, group healing, some curing things. Resuscitation brings somebody back from KO or killed. Fairy Light is your attack spells. Fairy Blessing boosts defense. Fairy Power gives you everybody regeneration. So you have a pretty good assortment of spells for your healer that you can choose from. Let's go ahead and use Fairy Light. That guy, he of the pink mustache, also has some nice specials. He's got Bodkin arrows, serrated arrows. Rapid Fire is a nice one. Archer's Calling boosts his agility for 5 turns. Precise Shot is one that it'll be way more useful in the later game than it is when he first gets it, but it's still a pretty strong attack because I can kind of explain that. So most of the characters, their attack is going to be based off of their attack skill. Their damage is going to be based off their attack, which represents their strength. But Jack is a Hashashin, so he does damage based off of his strength, his attack skill, but also agility and luck. Or accuracy. To me, the two are kind of interchangeable. In a way, I even considered changing the name from luck to accuracy, but luck works just fine. And as an archer character, that guy does damage based off of his strength and agility. So, let's just go ahead and let's just use an attack. Maybe we'll get off one of his specials, his better specials. Sidekick McNobody is your warrior. Also has some good specials here. Just a variety of attacks. A lot of them cause him to be off balance. You'll find that some of your abilities for titties, McBoobs, Meat Shield here, and even some of the next guy's McDougal's spells as the mage. Some of his spells and abilities will also cause him status effects. So some of your own abilities can hurt you. You have to be careful of that. See, he puts you off balance, so I'll show you that. And then magic, he's already kind of low on that, so I can use Mage Blast and show you what happens with him. So let's hit with Hemorrhage, and you can see the side view thing here, and he's been hit with a status effect. Got a critical hit there. Ooh. Whackety whack. It's Fairy Light. Bright flash of light. Mage Blast. Wham. Rushing attack. Whack. And unfortunately that was enough to kill McDougal. So you see what I mean? You have to be a bit more careful with some of your abilities. Generally speaking, if it does something to you in return, it's going to cause a lot of damage to your enemies. Sometimes it's more like a shortcut. It's not necessarily a shortcut, but it might do more damage. It might do or cost less to use or something compared to the amount of damage it does. Generally speaking, it's all about how much damage is being done versus how much skill points and magic points it costs. So we can go ahead and attack him. As you see here, he's been hit with a state, and because it's a battler like these, and then his animation thing has changed because he's being affected by it, and you can see the status animation here. This is bleeding. He's been affected by the bleeding skill, which is going to do damage to him at the end of every turn, or basically every turn, as you saw. And then also, what happened to McDougal is that Mage Blast is a pretty strong spell for attacking one enemy. It's one of the lower tier spells of that line of spells, but it's still a pretty strong hit. But what it does is it causes power burn, and that damages you, or McDougal, over time. So Got to be careful of that. So also, spells and special abilities both cost, most of the time, magic points and special points. So we can look at Titties McBoobs here, and can't do magic, can't do any specials. And you can see the costs over here. Now the reason why Titties McBoobs has such high magic point costs for a lot of her stuff is because she uses both magic and physical attacks. That's kind of her thing. Alright, so we can go ahead and... we don't have enough skill points to use that, so we're just going to have to use basic resuscitation and get McDougal back. We don't have enough skill points there for that, or for anything for him. So let's do some damage. Uh-oh. Ouchie. Nice hit. Resuscitation. Bring the boy back. Woohoo! Boing. As you saw there, he bled out a little bit, even though it's supposed to be a zombie. A Zambi. Okay, so we don't want to let our boy over there die, although when he did die there, he lost the negative status effect, which is not a bad thing, so we can go ahead and give him a little booster shot there. Now we can do some magic. Let's hit him with some great balls of fire. I don't think we have enough skill points there to do much anything, and we still don't have enough points to use his rapid shot. We're just gonna guard. Das ist verboten. I should have used... ouch. But see, that's why I wanted him to go to do the healing. Boom. Whack. That guy did not get any points. I'm disappointed. So now you can see he's affected by two statuses here, both bleeding and the little flame icon. That means he's also burning now. So, we've got enough. We can go ahead and use Mighty Jack, but we don't need to, or use Hemorrhage again, but we're just going to use this. We can use some magic again, but we're just going to attack. The guy's almost dead. Maybe we'll get to see the rapid shot finally. I can show you a couple of McDougal's specials. Life channeling causes a negative health ability. Basically, you're losing health to get magic points back. And then power channeling doesn't give you a negative effect. It boosts your magic attack for 5 turns. So that's a good one. We're just going to guard with him again. Missed. Less than damnations. Uh-oh. Whoa. Ooh, ouch. That was a big hit. Oh, but there it is. It's over. And you get your results, your experience, and then you get to see when somebody's leveled up, how they've leveled up, and then you get to see your battle spoils. A couple of other things that I forgot about that you'll be able to take advantage of in battles is Cutie Cake has a special ability. He actually gets 3 different ones. They're passive abilities that he'll get through leveling up in the game that increases the effect of all items that he uses, healing items in particular, but also magic point restoring items. So he has his spells that he can use, but he's also very effective for using the healing items. You have to keep that in mind. And also, is was kind of showcased there. You saw he did quite a bit of damage to that enemy with his basic attack, even though he's not an attack-oriented character. It's because his element is light. And all of the enemies in this area, Area 4, you know, you'd figure it out quickly enough. They are all shadow or darkness-based enemies, so he does a lot more damage to them than he normally would. You can see one of the treasure chests here. You need a key to get in. So I was going to show you one more special item that I've included. A key item in warp keys, which are real nice because you can just use them. They don't cost anything. You don't have to rebuy them. And it takes you directly to the end to heal up. It does mean that you have to travel back to where you were every time you do this, but it's a fairly inexpensive item that you can buy, and it just makes it a lot easier. You know, you need to buy some new stuff, whatever, you just go back to the end. There's also in here scores. 2,814 so far. Another one you can do is you have money bags, and that'll give you a random amount of gold every time. And there's different sized ones, so lots of fun little things. Okay, that needs to be fixed. Every now and again you find things that, oh crap, I haven't done that yet. Just walking all over the place, walking all over the counters. It'll be fixed before the game goes live. So I think that kind of covers it. The battles, as you saw there, they're not too tough, but if you're not careful, you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna lose characters, and end up having to resurrect a lot, or go back to the end to have them revived. You have to use your skills. You cannot get through this game spamming the basic attack. If you try it, you will fail. All of your really high damage dealing stuff is in your skills. All of it. Okay? So it is absolutely essential that you use your skills, basically, and you have to be able to get to where you're using them in a tandem as well at times. So you can see this is a guy you can buy armor from, and here's the magic shop. So you can buy different spells for your wizardy guy. For example, one I've already bought was disenchant armor. I'm going to go ahead and buy mass disenchant armor. They're a little expensive at 800 poontang a piece, but I'll go on the other side of the counter. So you can look over here and you have the Tome of Mass Disenchant. Just put it on the wizard. And you can look and you can do the magic. You also see everybody has passive abilities. His first one here is to boost his ability to reflect enemy magic. I was going to show you the spell. So you now disenchant armor and mass disenchant armor. See, there's quite a boost in how much magic points and spell points it costs. So that's why it is useful to have both. Sometimes you have one really strong enemy and a bunch of minions. You just need the basic version so you're not wasting a ton of your points on it. Because, you know, it makes it so you actually have to kind of think about what you're going to spend your points on, and it makes your recovery items for magic points and everything useful, very useful and vital to the game. And also his ability, like the one that allows him to channel life directly into his magic points to recover magic points at the cost of damage. You know, you're going to have to come up with some strategies playing this. You know, like I said, you cannot just spam attack. You will fail badly. Alrighty, so I think that covers the whole thing. Well, it doesn't cover the whole thing, obviously. It's just that covers what I was wanting to talk about in this video. So that was an example of some combat. Showed off a little bit of Area 4. You got to see one of the custom enemies that I made for the game for that area, the creepy-looking dudes. The little demonic thingamabobber-majiggies. Showed you some of the skill stuff that you can look forward to in the game. And that's what I was going to show you. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.